Guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylee. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are going to be doing a full face review of ColourPop's products. So we are doing everything with the exception, I think, of foundation and setting powder, which ColourPop does not make. Everything else that is on my face right now is a ColourPop product. So if you guys like full face tutorial type videos like this, be sure and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be sure and do more videos like this in the future because I honestly have such a great time doing videos like this. I think it's super fun. So I thought this video would be really helpful if you guys have not tried ColourPop's products before, so that you guys can kind of get a little taste of everything that they have to offer. So if you guys are ready to see this full face review slash tutorial of ColourPop's products, then please keep watching and let's go ahead and get started. So first we are going to start off by using the ColourPop Rose Quartz Crystal Priming Spray. They don't really have an actual primer, so this is what I'm going to use as my primer. Honestly, I think this is something that you can pass on. I just don't really think that it helps my makeup to last any longer or really helps give my face any more hydration than usual. I use this more so for like dampening other products like eyeshadows and loose pigments and things like that. Since this is a ColourPop video, we are going to use this on the face, so it says to just gently shake it up and then you spray it at an arm's length. The thing that I hate most about this is the fact that when you spray it, it is like, comes out in kind of like a stream. So it's not a clean like spritz. It's like, it's not a great sprayer. I'm just gonna say that. It's like so wet. It's just like literally spraying your face with a water gun. So I'm just gonna kind of like rub this in all over the face. So like I said, I don't really see a huge difference of this improving, making my makeup last longer or look better on my face. So I think this is probably a pass. All right, ColourPop doesn't make foundations yet. I'm waiting for it. I'm excited about it. Hopefully it'll come soon, before too long. But I'm gonna go ahead and use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation today. This is in the number 102, and I'm just gonna go ahead real quickly apply this off camera so we can save some time. All right, foundation is on. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to concealer, and ColourPop does make some really nice concealers. This guy is $6. I think it's actually a really nice formula. It's super creamy and like hydrating when you put it on, and I really like this applicator because usually I can like go in with like one dip into it and do my entire face. I mean, I feel like a little product goes a long way. It's a very wet formula, but I don't mind it. I think it's very hydrating. I especially think if you have drier skin, you would really like this concealer. And blend it out. I would say this is probably a medium coverage concealer. It's definitely not a full coverage concealer, but if you don't need that much coverage and you definitely want something that's good, that's not gonna break the bank, I think that this concealer is very nice for the price. ColourPop does not have any setting powders yet, so I'm just gonna use the Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana powder under the eyes real quick. I've been really liking this powder lately for setting under the eyes and when I'm not doing any eyeshadow to just set my whole lid. And I'm just gonna quickly set the rest of my face using the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. Next, let's go ahead and move on to bronzer. So I have the ColourPop, this is the Pressed Powder Face. So this is one of their bronzers, and classic me, I put it in here already and I don't remember the name of it. Hold on one second. This is in the color Private Party, and I wanted to go ahead and get the little case that it comes in because I didn't really want to have a giant bronzer pan just loose. I don't know how easy you can see this on camera, but it's definitely not a matte bronzer. It's just got like a little bit of a sheen to it, but I think it's really pretty. I haven't put it on my face yet, so we're gonna get first impressions here. Don't know how well that's showing up. Let's go ahead and with a little bit more. Do a little bit on the forehead to balance out. Okay, so I do think you have to build the bronzer a little bit, but I do think it is pretty. I like the little sheen that it gives to the skin. Just a nice little like glow. No glitter or anything. So I do think this is a really pretty bronzer, and this guy was $8 with the bronzer, and if you get the compact. If you just wanted to get the bronzer by itself, I believe it's $7 if you don't get the compact. So if you wanted to save a little money, if you have like a Z palette you just want to throw it into, then you can save yourself a buck and just get the pan without the compact. All right, next we're gonna go ahead and move on to highlighter. This is the Super Shock Cheek Highlighter. It's really pretty, and my favorite color is Flexitariat, and I think that one is gorgeous. I love that color. I couldn't find that one anywhere. It's like my favorite one, and I have have no idea where it is right now, but I did want to show you guys what this looks like. So this is in the color Stole the Show. Like it's a really pretty highlighter. It's like a really pretty pearlized champagne-y gold shade. And again, this one is Stole the Show. And I think this is pretty. Flexitaria I like a little bit more, but they're very similar in shade. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit on my finger, and we're just gonna like tap this on the face. And then I think I'm gonna use my beauty blender on this side so you can kind of see how they apply it differently. Now this does have a little bit of glitter in it, so if you're not into glittery highlighters, I mean, it's a very, very fine glitter, but if you don't like any glitter in your highlighter, you probably won't like this. But like, look how pretty that is. And then let's go ahead with our little sponge, and we're just gonna go into it on this side. You guys, it's so pretty. I like applying it with the sponge better, I think, actually. And it's like really, it just catches the light perfectly. And then I also recently got one of their pressed highlighters. This is in the color, I believe it's called Touche, but this is what this looks like. I've only tried it a couple of times. I don't know if it's just this color that I don't really love, but it's not anything like crazy. So you can see right here, it's just not as like intense as this one. It's just not anything that I'm like super wild about. All right guys, let's go ahead and move on to the brows. So I have two different ColourPop products for brows. I have their brow pencil, and then I also have their brow pomade. Both of these I have are in the color Bang & Brunette. I have used them several times and I do like them. I think they are pretty good for the price. But the pencil is $5 and the pomade is either $5 or $6. I can't remember, but they're both very affordable, so they're less expensive than the NYX one if you're placing a ColourPop order. What I like about the pencil is that it allows you to really quickly fill in the brows. It's a very creamy brow pencil. Like you barely just have to touch your face with it, and it really a little goes a long way. I really wouldn't consider this as a dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz, which you guys know I love. It's definitely a much different consistency than that pencil. But for $5, I think it is pretty good and pretty easy to work with. So this is my favorite way to do my brows with these products, is I go through it and I just line the underneath of my brow with the pencil, and then I go through with the spoolie and just brush it up to kind of disperse that product into the brow a little bit. And then I like to go in with the pomade and fill in my brow from the top of my brow going down. All right, done with brows. So again, guys, I would recommend their brow pencil and their brow pomade. I think for the price, these are really good products, and I honestly think that they are just as good, if not better, than the NYX products, and they are a little bit cheaper. Oh, before I forget, I wanted to show you guys the ColourPop Super Shock, this is a tongue twister, the Super Shock Cheek Blush from ColourPop. So this one is a satin finish blush, and it's kind of like that creamy texture, and I didn't realize it was going to be this creamy when I purchased it, and I did kind of review this in a video a couple months ago, but this one is just not a product, again, that I'm really in love with. It's a little bit more difficult to apply just because you have to do it with your finger, and blush is something that you really want to have blended out well. I'm going to first go in and apply a little bit of this with a brush so that you guys can see how it applies with a brush. It's not great. It's just like it doesn't really do anything, and I'm like swirling around in the product and it just doesn't really do anything on a brush. So then if I go in with my finger and kind of pat it on, that's when you can see the color start to develop if you apply it with your finger. But again, it's just hard to get a nice blended look using your finger to apply it, you know? It's just not something that I personally really like or that I ever reach for on a daily basis. I'm not a big fan of cream blushes. If you do like cream blushes, I do think that this is pretty, but just keep in mind you have to apply it with your finger if you want to see any color payoff whatsoever. All right, moving on, let's do eyes. As you can see, I'm trying to use as many products as I can on this video, especially if you're new to ColourPop. I just want this to kind of be like an all-inclusive video so you guys can really get a feel. So I have several of their Super Shock shadows. If you've owned them for a couple months, they will dry out, so just keep that in mind. The shelf life on these is not that long, and I think these are really, really great for all over the lid color. So I really like their like glittery, their pressed glittery ones. They're super soft and creamy. Like this is the color Birthday Girl. This is in the color Slave to Pink. This one is like crazy. Look at that. This one is insane. And one of my all-time favorite shades, this one is I Heart This, and this one is like on the verge of drying out because I've had this one for a long time. So pretty. So that's this one. And then they do also make some of them in a matte formula. And again, this is one that I have that is on the verge of drying out. And I thought, why not go ahead and try to apply this one. We'll start with this one and we'll do it kind of in the crease as our transition shade, kind of get things started so you can see what the matte one looks like on the eye. But again, the matte one is still a more creamy formula. I only ordered one in the matte formula to try it out. And it's just not something I ever reach for on a daily basis. I don't go for matte shades in this kind of cream formula. So like I said, I like the really shiny, glittery, sparkly ones. Those ones I think are really great. The matte formula is just not one that I'm like super wild about. Even though this is kind of on the verge of drying out, it still gives us like a nice little bit of color here. And it is pretty easy to blend this. You get it, it's a cream matte shadow. So I do have the new Superstar loose pigments, and I've got several of these that I thought we would kind of play with and try out today. I did also want to mention to you guys the eyeshadow palettes from ColourPop are bomb. These things are so good. Like this one is a $20 eyeshadow palette, and as you can see, you get 15 different eyeshadow shades. The colors are super blendable, really pigmented. This is the palette All I See Is Magic. I think it's such a good buy for $20. I've used both of these palettes before on my channel, but another one of my favorites is the new Kathleen Lights ColourPop collab. This is what this guy looks like. Again, it's just a super pretty palette. So whatever other colors I'm gonna put on my lid is gonna be dependent on which one of these Superstar loose shadows we end up using. So I thought we'd go ahead and swatch these real quick. I'm gonna decide which ones I actually wanna use. This is in the color Mulholland, I think is how you say it. This is what it looks like as a dry swatch. So pretty, right? Okay, the next one, this is the color Weekend. So pretty. It's like a pearlized, pinky, champagne gold. Like it's pink and champagne gold. The last shade I got is the color Baby Rue. Really pretty light purple. So this one I feel like is a little bit more of a creamy consistency, and these two I feel like are a little bit more powdery. So I'm gonna try to apply them all wet. So I wanted to quickly show you guys what these look like swatched wet on the back of my hand. So I just wet these with that ColourPop priming spray. Okay, so I've kind of decided that I want to do like a warm bronzy look to go with that Mulholland color that we're going to use on the lid. So I believe this is the color called Go Wish. So I wanted to use what brushes I had from ColourPop. This one, none of these really have names on them. They don't really come with names. So I'm just going to link them down in the description box. I think ColourPop's brushes aren't terrible. They're okay for the price. I would say if you want really good quality brushes for the same price as ColourPop, maybe go with Morphe instead. I just kind of prefer Morphe's brushes a little bit more. Again, they're not bad, so if you want to try some, I mean, most of them are like $5, I think. For the same price, I think Morphe's brushes are just a little bit better. That's just my personal opinion, but I did want to go ahead and just like use the ColourPop brushes that I have so that you guys can see them. And then we're going to go into this color, which I believe is called Imperial. And this is just like a more tapered, a little bit smaller blending brush. This is very warm, kind of orangey pink color. So we're just gonna take this in the crease. All right, next we're gonna go into the color Top Notch right here. And we're gonna take this guy into the crease as well. And as you can see, as I'm blending out these matte shades, I have zero fallout on my face right now. I feel like if you're a beginner into eyeshadow, getting a ColourPop palette would be really good. There's just not a bad thing that I can say about ColourPop's eyeshadows. All right, let's go ahead and do a little work on the lower lash line. We're gonna go in with this shade right here, which I believe is called Big Spoon. And I'm just gonna continue with the same brush that I've been using, but I'm just gonna kind of pinch it together a little bit to kind of concentrate that color a little bit more. Now we're going back in with a little bit of Imperial. We're gonna put that palette on hold for a second, and then we're gonna pick up this flat domed ColourPop brush. Of all my ColourPop brushes, I probably use this one the most. I just like because it comes to a nice like flat tip. It's just really nice for packing color all over the lid, so that's what we're gonna use it for today. Again, we're gonna go back in with that ColourPop Rose Quartz spray, And then we're gonna go back in with a little bit of the Mulholland color on our dampened brush. And I think we're just gonna kind of take this on the outer and the inner corner of the eye, and we're just gonna kind of do a halo eye. Wow. Wow, this is so intense. Can you guys even see this? Oh my goodness, look at this. Okay, so that's kind of how I'm gonna leave that. I just kind of done it in the inner corner, the outer corner, I brought it up to the crease, and then I've just kind of left the center of the lid and the crease open there. Now we're gonna go into the color Weekend and put that on the open space right there. I'm really liking how this is looking so far. Kept my brush pretty wet while applying that color so that we could get a really nice crisp line there. Okay, so I just kind of did it right up into the crease and then kind of dragged it down in the center of the lid. All right guys, so the eyes are basically done. So we're gonna go ahead and finish up with the color Now and Zen, this guy right here. And we're just gonna do this on the brow bone up here. For a little brow bone highlight. And then for our inner corner highlight, we're gonna go back in and pick up the Still to Show color again. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up with some liner and some lashes off camera, and I'll be right back. All right guys, eyes are done. If you're interested in what products I used, everything will be linked down in the description box if you guys are interested. So I think the eyes look really good. I really like these little loose pigments. I think they're really easy to work with. I would definitely recommend getting them wet. I think that makes them a lot easier to work with. They stay in place. I do like the formula of the Mulholland one a little bit better than the Weekend and Baby Rue. I think that these two are a little bit more like chunky, glittery almost, and then this one is a little bit more of like a true loose pigment. I think Mulholland is good. The other two are a little bit more of a loose glitter in my opinion. Still really pretty and really nice when you get them wet. I think I'm gonna get those in a couple other colors just because I think they are so stunning when you get them wet. Since this is like an overview of ColourPop products, I did want to mention that this ColourPop Supernovae Shadow is not one that I particularly like. I thought this would be a good dupe for the Stila liquid eyeshadows, but I do not like this. I think it's very, very flaky and very, very crunchy when you put it on the eye, and I've tried applying it many, many ways. I've tried applying it straight with the applicator, I've tried applying it with my finger, I've tried applying it with brushes. It's just not a very good formula to me. I kind of hope that they redo this formula. If you guys are interested in ordering some stuff from ColourPop, this is something that I would give a pass to. I just think it's one of their not so good products. Most of the stuff I really, really like, but this one is just one I'm not super crazy about. And then for the last touch on the eyes, I almost forgot about this. I should have done this before, but I have here the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner, and I bought this because Carly Bible talked about this on her channel and how she really liked this to go in the waterline. Using nude eyeliners in your waterline just helps your eyes look bigger and more awake. So I thought I would get this for myself and test it out and see if it works good. So I'm gonna try it out for the first time right now. Okay, this is all right to me. If you want something on the more affordable side, you can definitely get this one and try it. But for me, it's just not as pigmented. Putting it in my waterline, I don't know if I just have more watery eyes and so it's not applying that easily. But all right guys, let's go ahead and finish up with lips. So first we're gonna use the ColourPop Lippy Pencil. You can see how small this is. I've used this a lot. I really like their lip liners. I think they're super creamy, really long lasting. ColourPop just has nice eyeliners, lip liners. This is in the color Skimpy. This is my favorite one to go under almost any lipstick, especially any nude lipstick. So for lipstick today, I think we're gonna use one of the ColourPop Luxe lipsticks. This is in the color Uno Mas. I think this is just gonna complement our eye look really nicely today. And I have a whole separate review video on these Luxe lipsticks on my channel if you guys are interested. I'll link that down in the description box as well. But if you are a fan of tube lipsticks, I think this formula is really comfortable, really nice, and these are a great price for $7. If you like tube lipsticks, I think these are very nice ones. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of the color Boy right in the center here. I also really like ColourPop's Glossy Lip. This is another great formula. Their matte liquid lipsticks are really nice too. I do recommend going in with those with a little bit of chapstick or like some kind of balm before you apply those, because those ones can be a little bit drying, but their liquid lipsticks are also a really great formula as well. All right, you guys, that is it for this video. I do hope that you enjoyed this full face review of ColourPop's products. If you haven't tried ColourPop before, I highly recommend that you try out their stuff. I think that the majority of their products are very, very good, especially for the price. Everything is such a reasonable price. So were there any products that you guys saw that you think like, wow, that's really nice, I would definitely be interested in trying that? Let me know in the comments if you guys are interested in trying any of the products from this videos, which products you think look awesome, which products you think look not so good. Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel before you leave. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an awesome week, and I will see you in my next video.